I'm That Porn Guide, and you're listening to That Porn Guide Podcast, Episode 7. In today's episode, we'll be changing things up a bit. The first change is Steamy Stories will now be its own episode. And the second is, instead of just telling you about hot porn stars and OnlyFans girls, we're going to be doing this head-to-head Pornstar versus OnlyFans style. In today's episode, it's the battle of the Middle Eastern beauties, Audrey Royale versus Hailey Rose, followed up by Tech Toys and Crowdfunding, where we will be having a look at the most amazing art book titled Blood by Bastion Lecouffe Deharme. And then in the news this week, we will be talking about lovebirds Bonnie Rodden and Jesse James. But first up, birthday announcements for the week. Celebrating their birthdays this past week, on April 5th, Jenna Hendricks, Scarlett Levy, Jaden Lee, and then on April 6th, Veruca James and Bobby Starr celebrated their birthdays. On April 7th, April O'Neil, which is one of my favorite porn stars, celebrated her birthday. On April 8th, both Uma Jolie and Angel Wiki celebrated their birthdays. On April 9th, Jenna Jameson, who was one of my favorite porn stars back in the 90s, and Katsuni both celebrated their birthdays. And then on April 11th, Nikita Von James celebrated her birthday. Ladies, so many hot birthdays this week. If you're listening to this and you had a birthday this past week, I want to hear all about it. Porn stars, OnlyFans girls, listeners of the show, I want to hear all about your birthday. Everybody and anybody. You can leave your birthday announcements or stories at anchor.fm/thatpornguidepodcast/message, where you can leave a short 1-minute recording. You can also find us on Twitter and on YouTube at That Porn Guide and on Reddit at Porn Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. #MyDogDot. Stay tuned in because up next is our first head-to-head match, Pornstar versus OnlyFans girl. In Corner Pornstar, weighing in at 121 pounds, born in Los Angeles, California, and of Middle Eastern descent, we have self-described Hustler Honey, Cheeky Minxie, Vampire Vixen, Audrey Royale. And in Corner OnlyFans, weighing in at 120 pounds, born in the good old US of A and of Middle Eastern descent, we have the self-described 5'3", busty petite brunette with 28 G-cup titties and partner swinger wife, Hailey Rose. In today's matchup, the girls will be awarded up to 10 points per category, at the end of which we will tally up the points and announce our winner. The categories include Round 1, where we will be judging them on their face factor, how visually appealing are their faces, eye color, hair color, etc. In Round 2, we will be judging them on boobie factor, how perfectly shaped their boobies are, not by size. In Round 3, we will be judging them on booty factor, how perfectly shaped their booties are, once again not by size. In Round 4, we will be judging them on butthole cleanliness, the cleaner the better. In Round 5, we will be judging them on body appeal, how shapely and eye-pleasing their bodies are. In Round 6, we will be judging them on content quality, including things like realism, enthusiasm, etc. In Round 7, we will be judging them on content availability, how readily available and easy to access their content is. In Round 8, content genres, how many different genres have they participated in categories such as vaginal, oral, anal, lesbian, threesomes, etc. In Round 9, we will be judging them on the overall jizz factor, how fast they can make me jizz. In Round 10, we will be covering information and social media. Let's do this. Round 1, the face factor. When I think of an attractive face, I think of symmetry, large eyes, full lips, and healthy teeth. Not necessarily straight, just modification-free, for a lack of a better word. I don't mind blemishes, and I kind of find moles and freckles sexy. With those thoughts in mind, Audrey's luscious, thick, large lips are extremely erotic and sexy. That, coupled with her long brown eyes and exquisite use of makeup, are very attractive and eye-appealing. I'm going to give her a 6 out of 10. Hailey's large round eyes, combined with her gorgeous smile, sexy thick lips, and the girl next door look is amazing. But something else that I find extremely attractive about Hailey is she uses significantly less makeup than other adult actresses and still manages to look amazing, leaving me with no other option but to give her a 7 out of 10. In an almost too close to call victory, Hailey Rose takes a round 1 victory with a 1-point lead. We will now move on to round 2, boob factor. Right off the bat, before we get started with boob factor, I know your first thought is, and especially if you're a boob man, that the bigger boobs are always going to win. But we're not here judging these women on the size of their boobs, but rather the overall visual appeal, including factors such as symmetry of the boobs, size of the areolas, the color of the areolas, and the size of the nipple itself. We may add or remove points for things like tattoos and piercings, etc. It all depends on the visual appeal. It all depends on the placement, nature, and relevance of the modification. Round 2, boob factor. Audrey's tiny 34A breasts aren't the most magnificent thing about her body, but they are still a handful and beautiful. And she even still manages some cleavage every now and again with the right bra and top. She's all natural. Her areolas are slightly oval shaped and slightly big for her breast size, but the nipples themselves are well placed just the way I like them. I'm going to give them 3 points. And completely on the other side of the boob spectrum, Hailey Rose comes to battle with some 28G for ginormous and gorgeous tatas. They are large and in charge and all natural, so they are not freestanding like them fake boobies, but they are still well shaped and very eye pleasing, and more than enough to smother you in your sleep, so be nice. She has very large areolas that look great on her large natural boobs. My only complaint being that her nipples are slightly offset from center areola, and me being a stickler for symmetry, it throws me off just a bit. With that said, I feel that these bodacious tatas will land her another 6 points. Increasing her lead by another 4 points, Hailey Rose easily takes round 2 in the boob smacking contest. Let us now move on to booty factor. In this competition, basic booty etiquette is simple. Bigger is not always better. Even a small booty can win, as long as it's well shaped and aesthetically pleasing. We will be lumping in booty hole cleanliness into this round, but will be granted points separately. Points will be generated for things like the overall shape, butt dimples, booty hole placement, and booty hole cleanliness. Round 3, booty factor. Audrey Royale comes out of her corner swinging with a rather petite booty from a POV doggy style vantage point. It's not a number 10 booty, but it's a well-shaped, eye-pleasing booty, and definitely spankable. Booty stain shows up a little bit more on someone with lighter tones of skin, like Audrey Royale has, but with that said, she has a rather clean and well-placed booty hole. I like them closer to the vagina than the top of the butt crack. All things considered, 8 points for booty factor and 7 points for booty hole cleanliness. With only 1 inch difference in the circumference of the hips, Hailey Rose is also sporting somewhat of a small trunk, and it's no less amazing as it is well shaped along with a perfectly placed booty hole. And my favorite feature, she's got booty dimples. With that said, I'll give her 8 points for booty factor and 5 points for booty hole cleanliness. Audrey Royale fights back, taking this round with a total of 15 points. We now move on to body appeal. When I think of a beautifully shaped body, symmetry comes to mind. I find the hourglass look extremely pleasing, and I think a 10-point deviation between the chest, waist, and hips is a good ratio. But that's not the only thing we will be judging, but that's not the only thing we will be considering. We will also be judging the overall body shape, tightness, the firmness of the skin, hygiene, and overall grooming and maintenance of their bodies, etc. Points may be deducted for off-putting or ill-placed or unappealing tattoos or body modifications. Round 5, body appeal. Audrey Royale, at 5 foot 8 inches and 118 pounds, she maintains a fine, tight body, measuring in at a 34A chest, 25-inch waist, and a 35-inch hip, which gives her that 10-point difference between her chest, waist, and hips that I was talking about earlier, leaving her with that almost perfect hourglass figure. She does have several well-placed tattoos and a nice navel piercing, but unfortunately there is just one above the vagina that is slightly off-putting, which brings me to her vagina, which is a well-shaped kitty ready for the munching. I feel comfortable giving her 7 points. Hailey Rose stands at 5 foot 3 inches and 120 pounds with the measurements of a 38 chest, 27-inch waist, and a 34-inch hip. She just barely misses that perfect hourglass figure by a few inches, but sports an amazing figure. Her physique is slim, but not tight. I want to say thick or supple, but not to imply fat, because she is definitely not fat. She does have a few tattoos that don't seem to have any reasoning behind them, but they are not necessarily off-putting or ill-placed. She does have a few different piercings, including the ears, nose, and navel, Normally I find nose piercings to be off-putting, but in her case, she pulls it off nicely, and it makes a great addition to her overall look. 7 points it is. Alright. Round 5 ends in a tie, but Hailey Rose still has an overall lead of 2 points. Moving on to content quality. When I think of quality content, I don't necessarily think of a studio production. In my mind, quality content involves the actress being enthusiastic, likable, relatable, and conducts herself in a sensual and sexual seductive manner. Even though I don't expect all movies and amateur content to be as quality as a studio production, I do have somewhat of an expectation that these scenes will be well lit, not blurry or pixelated, etc. We're here to judge them on their work, not the talents of others. Also keep in mind that we're not just considering porn content, we are also taking into account all content including YouTube videos, Instagram pics, etc. So with that in mind, round 6, content quality. I've taken the time to view as much of Audrey Royale's content on Pornhub, Twitter, Instagram, and a YouTube channel as I possibly could. And my overall assessment is, not only is she enthusiastic and sexy as hell in her studio porn content, but she also puts up some consistently decent quality content on Instagram. Across the board, you can tell she puts in a decent amount of effort into her personal videos and photos. Even her candid selfies look great. I'll give her personal effort and quality of content 7 points. I did a deep dive into Hailey Rose's content as well. Fortunately, she has quite a bit of photos and videos on her Twitter that allowed me to get great insight into the quality of her work. She's quite sexy and performs well in her scenes and recordings. I find that due to their home movie style of recording, that she is able to be more herself, which shines through in the scenes. She has a lot of fun, kind of quirky, and a bit playful, but sexy as hell. With that said, I do feel that she could kick the energy up a notch. The video work is pretty good as well. Most scenes are well lit, in focus, and I love how they take their adventures to different backdrops. Her photo work could use a little finesse, but she really puts in the work and looks great doing it. You see what I did there? Doing it. I'll give her a 7. And it looks like we have another tie in the content quality category, and it's still anyone's game. Moving on to content availability. So in this category, we're not solely going to focus on their adult content or porn. This is a combination of all of their content, including safe for work content, not safe for work content, and the availability of that content across platforms. There's no way for me to know exactly how much content they have, so we're going to base this on how easily it is to find and consume, and of course the cost. Round 7, content availability. Audrey Royale has content spread across quite a few platforms, including Pornhub, Onlyfans, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and Snapchat. Quite a bit of her pornographic content can be viewed on Pornhub for free. She does have a pay-per-view style OnlyFans, and her Twitter is mostly comprised of safe-for-work content such as selfies and candid shots. But there are snippets of spicy content there as well. And then, of course, her Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch are all safe-for-work content. But as far as I can tell, a lot of her platforms are barely used. All in all, her content is readily available, easy to find, and ready to watch. I'll give her 5 points for her content's availability. I would have given her 7 points, but most of her platforms are widely unused. Hailey Rose doesn't have quite the portfolio of outlets for her content. She does have a Twitter, OnlyFans, FanCentro, and Fansly page, 3 of which are paid-for sites that most likely have the same content on them, so we'll just be talking about her Twitter and OnlyFans, but we will consider the others for content availability. Her OnlyFans is subscription-based for $10 per month, where she has 245 posts and 610 media. She also has quite a bit of not safe for work content available on her Twitter, including teasers for her videos and photos. I feel like the amount of content on her Twitter justifies 7 points, but I'm going to deduct 1 point for no Instagram for a total of 6 points. Hailey Rose wins another round, and it's starting to get interesting as Hailey Rose is starting to increase her lead by a significant margin. We'll now move on to content genres. So when it comes to content genres, we're looking for the different types of sexual acts performed, such as straight boy-girl scenes, lesbian scenes, threesomes, anal, etc. So I'm just going to list off the different genres I have witnessed these actresses in, or that they have listed as have performed. They will receive points for each genre, up to a total of 10 points. Audrey Royale comes out of her corner with a big bag, including boy-girl, girl-girl, solo, threesomes, cream pie, and public nudity, for a total of 6 points. But Hailey Rose comes out swinging with a bigger bag, including public nudity, public sex, threesomes, golden shower, boy-girl, solo, and anal, for a total of 7 points. With her ever-increasing lead, Hailey Rose takes the victory for round 8. We will now move on to Jizz Factor. So the Jizz Factor is simple enough and calculated by how many minutes it requires to reach orgasm while watching either of these girls' content. They start off with 10 points and lose 1 point for every minute it takes me to rub one out. If it goes over 10 minutes, points will be deducted from their previous score. And trust me, I did my homework on this one. Round 9, Jizz Factor. Audrey Royale. And not even enough time to callus a finger, mission was announced complete in just under 6 minutes, giving her an additional 4 points. Hailey Rose. No dogs were rubbed raw in this mission. The mission was complete in just 5 short minutes for a total of 5 points. I have to admit the research for this one was exciting and fun. And the research proves that Hailey Rose takes round 9 like a champ. And if you're going to want to know which videos were used to complete Operation Jizz Factor, you're going to have to head on over to our blog on WordPress at thatpornguidepodcast.wordpress.com to find out. Next up, information and social media. So in this round, we are awarding points for information availability and social media presence. I know it sounds trivial, but I do like to be able to relate or to better understand these actresses. And while that information may not be relevant to some viewers, it is to me, and we're going to be granting points accordingly. 1 point will be given for every tidbit of information these beautiful women have made available to us, and will be granted bonus points for every social media outlet they maintain and have at least made one recent post no older than 3 days. The 10th and final round, information and social media. Audrey Royale's information includes her ethnicity, which is Middle Eastern. Her hair color is brunette. There was no information for her eye color. Her height is 5'8". Her weight is 118 pounds. Her measurements are 34A, 25, 35. Tattoos, yes. Piercings, navel. Education, unknown. Career, 2016 to 2020, with a Pornhub rank of 1,527. You can find her Instagram at SpoiledXRoyal, her Twitch at SpoiledRoyal, her YouTube at Audrey Royal, and her Twitter at AudreyXRoyal. She gets 9 points for her info tidbits and 4 bonus points for her active social media. Hailey Rose's information includes her ethnicity is Middle Eastern. Her hair is brunette. Once again, I didn't find any information for her eye color. Her height is 5'3". Her weight is 120 pounds. Her measurements are 38, 27, 34. Tattoos, yes. Piercings, yes. Unknown for education. Her career is unknown, her start point, and she has a Pornhub rank of 1,802. Her Twitter can be found at Hailey Rose Fucks. Her OnlyFans is at Hailey Rose _FCKS. Her Fansly is at Hailey Rose _FCKS. She gets 8 points for information tidbits and 3 bonus points for active social media. And that's it, folks. The numbers are in. Hailey Rose wins the battle of the Middle Eastern babes and our first head-to-head matchup. The final scores were Audrey Royale with 66 points for the Pornstars and Hailey Rose with 69 points for Team Onlyfans. #MyDogDot. Well, that wraps things up for the Battle of the Middle Eastern Beauties. I hope you enjoyed the new format, and one can only hope it was a bit more entertaining than just hearing facts about some women from the internet. Before I forget, don't you forget, the Steamy Stories will be uploaded as its own episode. It will go live on Fridays, and our current shows will maintain its Monday releases as per usual. And of course, I want to know what you all thought of the new format of the head-to-head Pornstar versus Onlyfans girls. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to comment in the description. If you're listening to this as a podcast, there should be a link in that description that will take you to where you can leave a 1-minute voice recording. You can leave your comments there. You can also find us on Reddit at That Porn Guide. You can leave your comments there, or even better, you can head on over to our blog at WordPress, and you can leave your comments there as well. All right, next up, tech, toys, and crowdfunding. This week in adult tech toys and crowdfunding, I bring forth one of the most visually stunning and amazing projects that I've found on Kickstarter, titled Blood, the art book by Bastion Lecouffe Deharme. This is Bastion's first art book, and with 432 pages, it promises to take some serious space in your collection. This project had a starting goal of $28,246 and has currently raised over $90,000 with over 700 backers and almost a month still left in the campaign. Anticipated for years, this book has been on the wish list of numerous art book collectors. You will also be able to get your hands on a limited premium edition, which comes with additional pages that makes this one 480 pages, also including Bastion's photography and reference shots for his artwork. Aside from the books, you will also be able to add a swag pack to your pledge, which comes with a poster and prints. Also, by the way, this book contains not safe for work artistic nudity. Bastion Lecouffe Deharme was born on the shores of Brittany, France in the early 80s. His artwork evolves at the crossroads of modern and ancient myths and legends, forgotten tales, and tragedies. Bastion creates dark and symbolic pictures, blending a contrast of beauty and decadence. Drawing, painting, and photography are all the mediums he likes to mix into his digital creations, from cursed medieval symbols to noir sci-fi. His art is amazing and visually stunning. I've come back to the campaign page multiple times to soak in the amazing art featured on his campaign page. Even if you don't plan on pledging to the campaign, you should definitely come check it out regardless. It truly is a sight to see and, once again, just visually stunning. And if you do decide to pledge to the campaign, there is a 432-page standard edition of the book and a 480-page premium edition. You can also add a swag pack that comes with a poster and some prints. The standard edition will set you back about 60 euros, and the premium edition will have you parting ways with about 110 euros. They ship anywhere in the world, and their estimated delivery is November 2022. Of course, like always, there's so much more to this campaign than I can share here, including the artistic nude imagery on the homepage, so I implore you once again, go check it out for yourself. It truly is amazing. Keep in mind when I praise these projects that it truly is out of respect and admiration for the content creator, because I'm not getting any kickbacks and this is not a paid advertisement. I truly am just a fan of these projects that I find and hope to make you a fan as well. You'll be able to find a link to this campaign in the description. I will drop a quick disclaimer though, because I am not affiliated with them in any way. I cannot guarantee the quality of their work, the completion of the project, or the delivery of the merchandise. Just like with any crowdfunding campaign or investment, there are risks involved. With that said, the campaign creator has a rather good record of campaign creations and completions. So help me send some traffic their way to make their project more successful than it already is, and of course, stay tuned. Porn news is coming up next. In porn news today, Sandra Bullock's ex-husband, Jesse James, is now engaged to former porn star Bonnie Rotten. The TV personality, Jesse James, and the 28-year-old former porn star Bonnie Rotten shared their exciting news in an Instagram post alongside of an image of her flaunting the engagement ring, writing, "I knew the moment I met you, I wanted to spend every single day with you. The way you love me and love my little one was all I ever dreamed of. I can't wait for the rest of our awesome lives together. I've never met anyone who understands me more than you. You're truly my best friend, and all I want in the entire world is to make you the happiest man in the entire universe." The photos, which were taken at a park, include a snap of the smiling bride-to-be holding up her left hand, as well as a close-up shot of the unique ring. This marks Jesse James' fifth marriage. The former Monster Garage host married his first wife, Carla, in 1991, when he was 20 years old and she was 30. The couple divorced in 2002. That same year, Jesse James tied the knot with former porn star Janine Lindemulder, who was famously posed for Blink-182's Enema of the State album. They were married for only 2 years. James's most famous marriage, however, was to super famous Sandra Bullock from 2005 to 2010. Following a failed engagement to tattoo artist Kat Von D, he tied the knot for a fourth time to drag racer Alexis DeJoria. The two separated in 2020. The man's got a thing for porn stars. Sound familiar? Unfortunately, I'm not attractive enough to land any porn stars myself, but that's not going to stop me from trying. In other headlines, porn star Raven Alexis died at age 35 following Crohn's disease battle. WWE legend turned porn star Tammy Sunny Cinch was involved in a fatal accident. 24-year-old porn star Angelina Please was found dead after going missing. And former porn star Ron Jeremy's sex crime trial paused for psychiatric evaluation. And that's it for the news. That's our show for this week. You can find us on Twitter and YouTube at That Porn Guide, on Reddit at Porn Podcast, and our blog can be found at thatpornguidepodcast.wordpress.com. Leave us a recorded message at anchor.fm/thatpornguidepodcast/message, and be sure to comment, follow, like, and subscribe. I'm out.